Hey everyone, quite a week this week, which means we get to work with some smaller companies and more emerging technology. There's also an Aussie company which I love to talk about. So let's get into it. So the first company today is called ProjectDiscovery, who raised $25 million in a Series A. These guys focus on sort of like exploit discovery, but they're using a community-driven approach or an open source approach. So let's take a quick look at ProjectDiscovery's website just to get a bit of a feel for the platform and technology. Now, what you notice is that it's pretty standard messaging to start with. If we move down here, get a little bit of a view of a user interface, that's great. Dark mode, go for it. Now, this is where they start to talk about this open source driven discovery piece. This is an interesting approach because is it better to do crowdsourced discovery, or is it better to have a team of experts doing the research, internal experts doing the research? There's a really good discussion and dialogue to be had there around what's going to give you the best results. The thing about exploits is it's usually the first to find them, right? So if you can find them as quick as possible, that's better. There's also, there's a huge amount of applications and software getting developed and methods to develop those software. So identifying exploits can be really hard for a small team to do. So there's the argument for crowdsourcing these things. The more the merrier. That's the value proposition that ProjectDiscovery is going for. They're trying to differentiate themselves with that, further reiterating, supported by a global community. There's a dialogue around their technology. There's an active community. This is the best security tool released in 10 years, maybe longer. It has everything I'm used to, except transparent and automatable, and for the AppSec as well. I don't really understand that quote. Sorry, don't really understand that quote. So their community is a Discord community. I'm not going to join that. So that's obviously, there's a good dialogue there. Open source shoots you to GitHub. Obviously a lot of collaboration going on there. Now, in organizations, and there's a lot of techies out there that really believe in the open source way of building technology, and there's a valid argument for that. There's pros and cons around using that approach when investing in software to run your enterprise. I think these will really resonate with those types of people because it has that type of dialogue and it's got that flavor, and it's open source at the end of the day. Can't see any commercial model here. There's really nothing going on. I mean, I can request a demo as per usual, but no commercials. If it's open source, what is the commercial model? I think that's all to come still. This is just their Series A. I'd imagine this is where they're going to start beefing out exactly how they commercialize this, and that'll all be part of the plan, and that's why they got a good round of funding there. The next company today is a company called VoiceFlow, who received $15 million in a funding round. Now, VoiceFlow started out as like the Figma. If you've ever heard of Figma, it's a user interface design tool predominantly for websites or applications and platforms. Figma helps you design and then for you to essentially experience what that design will feel like and navigate around like before you actually deploy it. Now, VoiceFlow originally was like the Figma of doing that kind of like drop and drag and visualization of the experience when engaging with AI, conversational AI or text-based AI engagement. Now, what they've done though is they've expanded on purely that design and collaboration around that design through to the execution, which is really cool. I love this product. It's got a really great value proposition. It looks super easy to use. Let's have a look at it. So really jumping onto that AI bandwagon. Now let's watch this video for a second. Really good website, jumping through how simple it is to use the platform. How easy is this? Drop and drag. Then you get to test the experience as though you're the user. Wow, collaboration straight on it. I mean, that just looks so simple to use. It looks so easy. The fact that they jump straight into the demo, like, it's got, the website's got that tagline, but then it jumps straight into the demo. It really shows that they're very confident about the product. So really cool looking low code platform or no code platform. Okay, so look here, they're grabbing the data sources to train the chatbot. That's interesting. I need to dive into that a little more. Okay, look here. It's got the data sources, sitemap, URLs. Okay, that's quite basic, but I'd imagine they're going to expand that out to databases, other areas that you store your data. Really interesting way, and I'd be interested to see. I couldn't really find how they use the AI or the models here. What models are they using to engage here around the different mediums? I'm sure it's in their deep. I just didn't get the chance to find it. They are really pushing just how amazing their platform here is. Okay, now look at this. Use these templates. Artificial intelligence buddy with conversational memory, support chatbot, retail chatbot. Wow, that seems really easy. Okay, so further down, launch 20 website with a pre-built embed. Yeah, I'd expect that. That sounds like it's just really simple to embed into your website or your platform that you're building to start that conversation. And obviously then it integrates with a lot of the other engagement platforms, your Slacks, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp. That's great. This seems really powerful. Really great value prop here. Let's look at the pricing, features and pricing. Sandbox, get started for free, $50 a month. Wow. I mean, this is product-led growth at its finest. I genuinely think I'm going to sign up to this week and have a little play around with it. That looks really simple, very easy to get going. Okay, great. I mean, huge future here ahead of this company. I think I'd be interested to see if someone like a ServiceNow or a Salesforce that do that sort of customer engagement, customer experience platform have a similar type of capability. I'll have to look into that. Anyway, onwards and upwards to them. Great round. Definitely going to give this one a try. The next company today is an Israeli cybersecurity company called Sweet Security, who received $12 million in a seed round. Now, being a seed round, this is a super basic website, super basic value proposition. It talks about, they're a cloud security company in the runtime space. And we've been looking at a few of these, and there's been some big unicorns popping up recently, like Wiz as an example. So it's getting to be a slightly crowded space. Now, interestingly, if you see here, immediately on the website, it talks about it's founded by the IDF's former CISO. Now, is that really talking about who it is rather than what it can do for you? Possibly. I'm not sure I want to see that message from a platform company. It is early stage though. Remembering this is just seed. The website is very basic. It talks super high level. You've got to book a demo to get to see the product. No pricing or commercials. I mean, that's really the extent of it. So very early stage. I'm sure this will continue to develop. It's a growing market, although there's a few players in there now. So we'll keep an eye on this one. The next company today is a company called Pendula. Pendula is an Aussie company, and they've received 14.5 million Aussie in a round. Now, Pendula, I've been keeping an eye on for quite some time. I knew about these guys when they were much earlier in their life, and it's really great to see them coming along like this. I haven't actually been onto their website in ages, and it's the capabilities have obviously blossomed huge. Now, it's a little bit, I suppose there's similarities if you look at the product around what VoiceFlow did as well, and what these guys, it's all drop and drag, low code, no code kind of engagement piece where it's that workflow and the conversation you're having with their customer. Pendula are talking about customer retention as their value proposition though. Really interesting. If you move through the website, there's basically no discussion here around AI at all. It's really talking about what it solves for you as the customer rather than talking about the technology that it does. I don't know if they're not jumping on that AI bandwagon on purpose. I was reading through some of the announcements around this, and it definitely talked about using generative AI as part of their sort of engagement platform. There's no pricing here though, so I can't understand how much this is going to cost. If we compare this to say a VoiceFlow, which is super product-led growth type of approach, this is different. You've got to, you can try it for free, but you'd have to sign up. But how much is it? what it's going to cost me. Can I sort of slowly get going and test this thing? There might be a reason for that, maybe because it's more for those enterprise platforms, but not really sure. Anyway, great to see an Aussie company get a great round of funding, and it's in a little bit of a different space to what we've seen as well recently. So be continuing to keep an eye on these guys, and I wish them all the best. Anyway, that's it this week. 4 companies, sort of smaller types, with, emerging sort of seed rounds or Series A rounds. Great to see some cool new tech and a little bit of sprinkling of different types as well. What I'm noticing now is, cybersecurity's come back in to what was a quieter few months a little while ago. Obviously, AI is still prevalent throughout, funding rounds.